Greetings, welcome to Tifa's Tarot, and I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. And today we're going to go ahead and do an all signs reading for the full moon in Capricorn on July 21st of 2024. So go ahead and check out the description of this video where you can view the timestamps for the zodiac sign that you are wanting to hear at this time, all right? We are using the Moonology Oracle to pull, to head the messages, and then we're going to clarify these messages with some tarot, and we are using the Brotherhood of Light Egyptian Tarot for those messages. Okay, now I want to first just kind of give some background information on this full moon that we have in Capricorn. So this particular full moon is actually in a 29th degree, which in astrology is known as a critical degree. So when we talk about 29th degrees, this is the culmination of energy. It's like ending a cycle, so to speak. And so it usually has to do with like grand endings or beginnings, right? When it's associated with this 29th degree. And the fact that we have the full moon in the sign of Capricorn, which is in opposition to the sun in Cancer, we are seeing themes that are around our 10th house. So this has to do with our reputation, our career, like our identification of how we tangibly express ourselves in this world. Okay, so there are themes with that are in contrast to our emotions, which is Cancer. Cancer has to do with your nurturing side. It has to do with like what you feed your emotional energy into. So we're having those cross sections of that, right? So we're going to see a lot of dissecting or intersecting themes that have to do with our emotions and what it has to do with our career or our reputations. So it's very interesting to note how astrology really aligns on a collective level when we see waking up on a full moon, on a Sunday, on a full moon in Capricorn, with the President of the United States stating very suddenly and kind of unexpectedly, I think, to most of the public, that he will no longer be in the running for like this year's election, which is about 4 months away, okay? And those themes are so intertwined with that Capricorn. That full moon Capricorn has to do with that, like your reputation, your energy about your career, your legacy in that sense, that have to do with your feelings. Sun in Cancer, which has to do with our emotional feelings. So it's so interesting to have that and to see like how astrological points really tend to like have like grand expectations, or how would you say, like just grand results on like what we're actually going through. And this happens, like I said, on a bigger and a smaller level. So you have to think about like how this applies to you. Okay, but a little bit more about this full moon is that I feel like on a collective level, this is really asking us to put in the work, because Capricorn is known as the workhorse. It's like putting in that legwork, that action when it comes to like what we are doing with our emotions. It's like, how are we feeling in this Cancer season, and how are we compartmentalizing our emotions, and how are we dealing with them? What are the actions that we're dealing with our emotional health? Okay, so this is also talking about a 6-month cycle. So think about like where you were in January when we had this new moon that was in Capricorn, which is asking us to work on those emotions. Okay, to think about the changes that you've made on an emotional level in the past 6 months and what you want to do in the next 6 months as well. So this is a perfect time to be very like self-reflective in a sense. There are a lot of opportunities here for that. There's a lot of opportunities for you to really master your like emotional regulation at this time, and to think about like, what do you do? What are the established structures that you have in place for how you deal with your emotions, right? Are they developed or not? And what type of routines do you need to develop to deal with your emotional health? Okay, so those are kind of the themes of this full moon that's in this cycle, right? And that's happening to us collectively. So really think about, even though we are in this cycle, where are you? Where's your sun and where's your moon? And what are those opposing factors that could be affecting you in relation to this? Okay, so there's a lot of like interweaving that you have to do, but that is the main message of this particular full moon. So we are going to start, since we are still in Cancer season, we're going to go ahead and start with our beautiful Cancers. So Cancers, we are starting with you, okay? Sun, moon, or rising. Cancer. Let's go ahead and get a message for you for the Moonology Oracle, and then we'll clarify it. Show me a message for Cancer. Show me a message for Cancer. Okay. Disseminating moon. Okay, so your message is time to breathe out, right? So as far as I know, the disseminating moon is right before the full moon. Okay, it's like the moon is bulging, it's full, and all right, so I'll look at that. Okay, so the moon is bulging at this time, and it's really like almost there at this full status, but it's really asking you to think about the situations that you're in right now. And it's saying that like whatever that situation that you're in at this particular time, especially when it comes to your emotions, it's really at a peak at this time. And it's stating that like no matter how you feel about something, like you're exactly where you should be. So if you're waiting on news about things, like you just understand to stay in the space that you're in on an emotional level, because you're going to get news about things soon. If you need to take some time out because like you just feel like you've been doing a lot or you're undergoing a lot, that this is a great time to really to just take some time out, okay? But it's not a time to quit. So you got to avoid falling into any type of slump where you're being repetitive and you're finding a hard time to gain the momentum of keeping to keep going as well, okay? And it's also just honoring the time like that you're putting in and understanding that you cannot always be on all the time, okay? That there is a time for you to kind of fall back and to reflect, okay? So it's really asking you to like just chill at this time, Cancer, okay? Either you've earned it, and even if you feel like you haven't earned it, you're fine, okay? It's time for you to like just not overwork yourself, avoid burnout in some degree, okay? Let's go ahead and clarify this a little bit more. We'll pull 3 cards. No reversals. I'm not taking any reversals. So you got the Ace of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the 5 of Swords. Okay. So I'm seeing this could have something to do with like your love life, your romantic life in a sense. Like if you feel like you've really been on, you could have even been on a journey like physically with that Six of Swords, because it's all about like trips, right? But it's also about like a transition phase, okay? You could be extremely not necessarily like argumentative or confrontational, because sometimes the 5 of Swords is about like inner turmoil, like you're going through the things like on the inside of yourself. And this could also be a time, because if this is not about a romantic relationship, this is about pouring love into yourself, more understanding into yourself, not being hard on yourself as well, and to move away from conflicting ideas about what you have, or move away from self-criticism or negative self-talk, okay? Because you could really be on, and that's why your main message is this disseminating moon, where it's just like you're working at something that's not quite working. So it's really just time to just like, okay, take a break so that you have that breather. And then this is coming to me more of like on a mental level, to just like take that break, to practice a little bit of self-love, to get out of phase of being too mentally too mentally like self-deprecating, right, in that sense. So making sure that you are not taking it too hard on yourself, all right, for whatever you're going through at this time, all right? So those are the messages for Cancer. All right, Leo, let's go ahead and get into your messages, dear Leo, okay? So Leo, the message for you, and this is Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Let's check our message for you during this full moon. What is Leo's message for this period? Okay, Leo. Prosperity lies ahead. This is new moon in Taurus energy. Okay. So when we talk about Taurus energy, right? Taurus energy is very material in its nature, but it doesn't rush. Okay, it understands that good things are coming to it on a tangible level, and that it's just time to buckle in and just understand like the work that needs to be done. So it's really giving you the idea to make sure that you're taking care of yourself so that you're able to do the work that you need to do. So this is making sure that you have a healthy body and a healthy mind so that you can enact the right things and attract the right things in life for you, okay? So it's almost like this law of attraction here, where it's like if you value yourself and you value the things that are in your life, then you're bound to have good things that can come to you, okay? So Taurus is also associated with a lot of luxury as well. So when it's in this new moon energy, it's like asking you to really just kind of lay the groundwork for where you want your finances to be. So looking very carefully at your resources and deciding like, okay, well, what are your financial goals at this time? Be clear about what you value the most, right? And making sure that you obtain that. And also understanding that it's okay to pamper yourself, to take care of yourself in reasonable ways, but make sure you're watching out for your bank, okay? Like money is really important at this time. And that the less that you spend and that you spend frivolously, like you'll see the results of that. So don't feel like you're depriving yourself, like understanding that luxury and treating yourself doesn't have to be expensive, okay? It could just be like a hot bath. It could be curling up and reading a book that you like, or what, it's just like finding things, going for a hike. And so finding things that don't have to like deplete your resources. So let's clarify that. Okay. All right, we got another Taurus card. Interesting. Okay. There was a message here because you got the Empress here. So there is a message here is about, and I feel like this is definitely has to do with self-nurturing, okay? Was that Empress is all, it's like that feminine motherly energy that has to do with like that taking care of yourself, like fertilizing things, making sure that like fruition comes out of things, okay? That you've got to be able to water your own garden, Leo, okay? And I feel like it definitely has something to do with your finances because you've got this Two of Pentacles, which is all about like keeping things in balance, right, in your material world. And also making sure that you walk away from things that emotionally affect you and don't contribute to your life in any way. So anything that's depleting, and I'm going to go back to the money, anything that's depleting your resources that's also not good for you, like, do you really need to go to that brunch? Do you really need to get that, like, that extra luxurious bottle of this? Like, do you really need to get that little facial cream right at this time, especially when you have, like, other financial goals? Like, you set the goals for what you want and making sure that you walk away from, like, this idea that you need to have something on an emotional level to fulfill you when it's not necessarily needed, and you could be putting those resources or that money towards something that's in your long-term investment in future, okay? So that's the message. Those are the messages for you, dear Leo. Let's go ahead and move to Virgo. All right, Virgo, let's go ahead and take a look at your energy. So we are Sun, Moon, Rising, and Virgo. What are messages for our dear Virgos for this full moon in Capricorn? Show me messages for Virgo. All right, so Virgo. Your card was, ooh, step out of your comfort zone. This is that North Node energy. So there's something about this particular full moon, and it's in a fellow earth sign of yours, where there's something that you're doing that's so routine and it's causing you not to grow. When we talk about that North Node energy, the North Node is this like supposing that you come on this planet with inherited talents and inclinations that you are naturally like gearing towards, right? When you have that full moon, when you have like a North Node, the North Node is asking you to like not fall into that comfort zone. is asking you to think a little bit bigger and to think about the ways, like, what are your challenges and what are you put on earth to do? You could take a good look at this by looking at what is your North Node in. So if you download your astrological chart and your birth chart, and you're able to see like where's your North Node is going to tell you on and what genre or what capacity or theme in life that you're set on this planet to like kind of do this time around. It's not a comfort zone. It's not something that's comfortable, but it's something that is needed for soul growth. So there's something on a soul level here where you're being asked to elevate for this new moon. So, or full moon, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and clarify it. So you're being asked to step out of your comfort zone. Okay. So this has something to do with, yeah, you're definitely being asked for a major change here. You've got the Death card here. The Death card is about rebirth, but it's also more importantly about transformation. It's about putting old ways to rest, okay? There's something that, there's something about the way that you live could even be in your home space, right? With that Four of Wands, right? Or the community that you keep. But there's something significant about like being around the same old people, doing the same old routines, just keeping things in balance and never really taking that risk. You're really being asked to see like in what ways you can enrich your life by taking more risk, by ending things, right? Whether that's ending relationships, ending routines that aren't necessarily like really that great for you. And it's something that you're very subconsciously aware of if you are in the, I'm assuming anyone who's watching tarot or they're in a space where they are looking for like self-growth or self-improvement or self-evaluation in this sense, okay? So you're kind of being urged at this time to look at like in the ways of how you fit into a mold that's so comfortable and doesn't provide challenge for you, right? It doesn't provide like enough soul growth for you to grow in a meaningful way at this time. So really taking a look at that. And this is not work that's done in a weekend. This is work that it takes constant evaluation from you to look at like where you're going and what you want to be. But I would say like my advice for you, Virgo, would be really delving into your North Node at this time and to see the ways in which you're being, you're shrinking yourself and not being enough, and seeing the ways in which you can challenge yourself to just grow a little bit more, okay, on that soul level. So that's the message I have for you, dear Virgo. All right, dear Libra, let's go ahead and tap into your full moon energy. So if you have Libra, sun, moon, or rising, let's go ahead and see. Let's channel some messages for our dear Libras. Okay, Libra. A time for healing. This is the balsamic moon. Okay, let me talk about healing time. So let's say this balsamic moon, if you're looking at the actual phase of this moon occurs as the moon is shrinking, right? So it's like as it's on its way to a new moon, we get this balsamic moon, right? It's preparing you for that new moon. So this is going to be a time for you to be to have like a self-care routine in place, because it's asking you to understand that like it doesn't matter when this card was really pulled, but it's really asking you to like alleviate the load and pressure off yourself. Take it easy on yourself, all right? It's saying to like let things rest. So let the past be the past. Try not to be too involved with things that have happened, and to be a little bit more like future forward, right? When it comes to like how you're thinking, where your mentality is at this time. But it really asks you that before you take those steps, make sure that you feel okay. Make sure that you feel healed, because this is a time for healing. Make sure that you don't just like forcefully put things in the past at rest, but that you take a time to examine them. And not just pretend that everything is okay, but actually try to work on that so that you can be with the purpose of being more forward moving, okay? Let go of that past. It says that like that there's a turn in the corner of a new future for you. And maybe like this is a time before you heal things Think about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas in a scenario, okay? So there's something about your past that really is like examining to be healed at this time. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. Okay, let's clarify. It's time for healing. Okay. Wow. It's like the theme I'm getting with so much love comes so much responsibility, because you've got the 10 of Cups. Okay, this is like what you're capable of. This is what you have in you to give. And then you've got the 10 of Wands. Lots of love can sometimes create lots of burdens, especially when it comes to like who and what we're giving our love towards as well. So there's something about this connection to like what you are connecting to on a heart level, on a heart space, and how that really affects you. So it's time to really examine that, I think, and to understand that like everything in life needs balance, right? This is the Temperance card, right? So the Temperance is all about establishing balance, not going like all in on something, because that ultimately ends up stressing you out and it ends up overburdening you in some respect or some capacity. So understanding your relationship about like how much you take on an emotional level and how that really affects you and how that creates certain like boundaries, or not respecting your boundaries. So this could be like overextending yourself because you have like, you're overly optimistic about the love that you have to give, but it not really being good for you because you get depleted. You feel like you're holding too many bags. It's too burdensome in some way. So you need to heal this relationship. Heal your relationship with the answer yes. Heal your relationship with being too overly optimistic about like what you can and cannot do. What you can do. I'm going to take away cannot. Heal your relationship with that, okay? I think is more of that message that you're getting for this full moon. And making sure that you operate in harmony, that you operate with some form of restriction also, but ultimately that you are operating with balance, okay? Because we always want to be balanced. We don't always want to be giving too much. Receiving too much even is not good, right? So there is an ultimate balance here that needs to be practiced, that you are being made aware of for this full moon, okay? So that's what I got for you, dear Libra. All right, Scorpio, let's go ahead and roll into your full moon reading. So you have Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. Let's go ahead and tap into what this full moon in Capricorn has for you. This is for Scorpio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Scorpio. You are good enough, Scorpio. Okay, the full moon in Virgo wants you to understand this. You could be like hyper fixated on being there. I don't know. I feel like there's something about being a little. You're turning criticism onwards unto yourself. Okay. This is asking you to see the relationship of what you think about yourself, okay? Are you being humble, or are you doing the opposite, okay? So there could be this issue where you're just being like a little too humble, where there's a lot of humility, and you could be losing yourself into that, right? Or maybe like undervaluing or underrating yourself in some major way. So you need to understand to find that balance between what you are doing every day, because what you're doing every day, you could just be feeling like, well, I'm just this, or this is all I have to offer, but making sure that you understand the gravity of like the role that you have in this world and the impact that you're meant to have. So there's something about you really undervaluing yourself in some degree, where you're worrying too much that you're not going to get the things that you want out of life, but there's you need to be careful, because Virgo is a very mental sign as well. So you could be like setting yourself up on a mentality level where you're just like sabotaging yourself or second guessing yourself in some way, okay? So making sure that you're not being overly critical on things that you're doing. And if you feel like there's something that you have just been doing wrong, or people that you've been doing wrong, then this is a time to really like not beat yourself up about it, but just address that issue and just be more forward about that. But either way, it's really a time that whatever is happening, like just make sure that you're paying attention to details and that it's admirable and favorable for you to like work really hard around this period of time too, okay? That'll serve you very well. But making sure that you don't undervalue yourself, don't cheat yourself in any way, shape, or form, dear Scorpio. Let's clarify that with some tarot. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, like you could be putting like love offers out there and just coming short of that. Or this, it could also be like if you're in a relationship, you just feel like you're getting like breadcrumbed, or you're just not getting like the love that you really desire or want at this time. It could be, you could feel like little, and it could be affecting your esteem on an emotional level. I see you being very dialed into your work, and like I said, the days may be seeming very mundane, like you're just doing the same thing every day. Your routine is not very interesting, but you have to understand the value and the stability that comes with that, and that is also very valuable. So never underestimate like the hard work that you put into things. Never undervalue what you do and its impact on other people or its impact on society. There's a need for you to really focus in on that, and to really like feed yourself with that love, feed yourself with that like, yeah, I am this, okay? In order for you to just be more healed, for the flow to come to you in a more favorable way, okay? So making sure that your like mentality is focused on you being the best version of yourself by not undervaluing yourself, valuing yourself to the utmost degree. Okay, Scorpio? That's what I got for you for this full moon. All right, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and take a look at your full moon reading. Okay, so this is for Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising. Let's go ahead and tap into your energy, Sagittarius. Show me Sagittarius's energy for this full moon in Capricorn. Show me Sagittarius's energy. I think this is going to resonate with you, Sagittarius. Step out of your comfort zone, Sagittarius. There's something you're doing that's a little too comfortable. You're tired of it. So that North Node is when we need to challenge ourselves a little bit more. So the North Node is like a place. It's a place astrologically where we are meant to focus in on our life's mission. So let's having the gumption to assume that we've been here before, okay? And reincarnation is real. You've been here before. You are coming onto this planet with talents that you have already been given. There's a certain inclination that you already have towards certain things, okay? And that is where your South Node is. That's where you're more comfortable. So in order for you to grow on a soul level, you want to focus in on your North Node. Your North Node is doing things that are a little bit uncomfortable, that come easy to you, right? But these are the things that are going to like have you grow in the most significant and the best way for what your mission is on this planet, okay? So my advice for you, Sagittarius, is for you to look, if you already know what your North Node is, and take a look at your birth chart. Looking at the birth chart, where are you in this role, okay? Where are you in your soul growth, right? What house and what zodiac sign is your North Node in? It's gonna like indicate to you the ways in which you need to expand and that you need to grow. That it's not comfortable, right? It's not your first instinct to do these things. So this is really examining your North Node at this time, and is really asking you to look at the ways in which you just feel too safe and that it's preventing you from growth. So there's something about a soul growth that you're being ushered into doing, dear Sagittarius. Let's go ahead and clarify. Let's clarify this message for Sagittarius. Whoa, 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 whoa. God damn. Okay. There is something in the way in which you activate having fun, because you got this like Knight of Wands, which is like, it's not a very serious energy. It's kind of like your energy in general, where it's just like, I'm here for a good time, a long time. It has that energy attached to it, where it's just like, I just want to like, you know, be free. I just want to sow my oats. I just want to like, there's something about that where you're so comfortable in this very casual energy, and it's toxic because you got the Devil here. Okay. It's a toxic energy to be around. It's not good for you. You spent too much time like undervaluing yourself, or being in this energy where it's getting to the point where it could even be low vibrational, because we even got your sign right here. This is the Page of Wands. This is just doing things that are fun. It's your hobbies. It's enacting that like that serotonin, that dopamine, I don't know, whichever one, that's making yourself feel good and that's comfortable to you. Okay. But it's also like toxic to you, and perhaps there's something about that environment and just doing what thou wilt that can be extremely toxic to you. There is a time for you to really like focus right now, I think, on your inner journey of like what your soul really wants you to be here for. Okay. And that might not be just in the aimless pursuit of happiness and pleasure. Okay. So there is that time. This is like for the Sagittarius who are resonating with this. That's the message for you. Okay. Capricorn, let's go ahead and take a look at your full moon message for this full moon that's in your sign. So if you have Capricorn, sun, moon, particularly, or rising, let's go ahead and channel a message for my dear Capricorns. So let's see a message for you, dear Capricorn. Let's get a message for Capricorn. All right. You got two messages. The message that you got was show the world the real you, which is this full moon in Aquarius energy. And then you've got the look at the big picture with the full moon in Sagittarius. All right. So Capricorn, what this means for you, show the world the real you. This is you tapping into your humanitarian side, your intellectual side. Those things like you could be known as one thing. Maybe there's a side of you that you kind of keep hidden, or that you don't show to everybody in some way. And it's very favorable for you at this time to really like start thinking about the ways in which that could really help to enrich other people in some way. Okay. Let's see. It's also asking you, because Aquarian energy is also very detached. So this is also offering you this ability to not be so attached to a certain scenario, or not be attached to an outcome of things. Okay, that it's okay to detach from that. And when you do that, there is this there's this light of authenticity that shines on you, where people are able to see you in a more authentic way. So you could be feeling that, but you have to like detach from that emotion of feeling like a certain way about that, right? This could also indicate that like you're too far out, you're too much in your head as well. Okay. And that you need to like balance that with a little bit of heart, because Aquarian energy is not known for being, very like sentimental in any way. So you could be like feeling a little too aloof. So there is that expectation as well when it comes to that. But I would say also, it's not a very clingy energy that you're in right now. But it could really suggest that, but there's also, because it's not a clingy energy, but there's also something about like other people that's involved in this. Okay. It could be other people like clinging to you. But whatever it is, there's something like very unique about your energy at this time that is going to shine a light to not just other people, but also yourself, about like who you really are, right? But you also got this full moon in Sagittarius, which is about the big picture, right? So we have this full moon in Sagittarius, and I'll just show it to you. It's really asking you to just kind of take a break, maybe go on a little adventure, okay? Maybe you've been distracted because you're looking at the minute details. Is asking you to be like a little bit wider in your scope when it comes to things, and like kind of piggybacking off of that detached energy from Aquarius. This is really asking you to show, like, are you being authentic with showing what you care about? If you can't show what you care about, like, this is the time to actually start doing that at this time. Speak your mind, and don't worry too much about like saying a lot, okay? But it's fine for you to do that as well. Let's go ahead and get some tarot. Let's pull some tarot on these two energies. They do mimic each other in some ways. Yeah. Okay. Big thing here is I see you taking a chance, because that Wheel of Fortune is just like, you know, if you want things to be different, you've got to take a chance for that opportunity to come forth, right? And it could be like very hurtful or painful, because you have this understanding that an ending is near, okay? And maybe it's just time for you to do what the F you want with this Knight in Wands, right? This is just like like maybe you've played by the rules too much. Maybe you just feel like I've always followed the rules. Where has it gotten me? This is a time to kind of like maybe break them a little bit and to like show people who you really are and what you're capable of. And to not think like so, I don't want to say small, but to think in such an organized way where you're just like, this is who people think I am. This is like who I am. Break outside of that. It's okay. They're not going to lose your mind. They're not going to lose their mind if they know that you partake in this or that, or that you do these things, right? Take a chance to really show that. And also makes you a little bit more relatable. Okay. All right, Capricorn. It makes you more relatable. It makes you like just a more wholesome, authentic person, right? I started this by saying there's something about your authenticity that needs to be realized for this period. Okay. So that's what I got for you, dear Capricorn. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, Aquarius, let's go ahead and get into your reading. If you have Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, let's go ahead and tap into your energy for this full moon in Capricorn. Show me Aquarian energy. Show me a message for Aquarius, please. All right. So Aquarius, your message is the answers you need are coming. This is full moon in Gemini. So there's something very significant about communication. There's a culmination here when it comes to your communication. So if you've inquired about something in the past, like, you got to remember to stay patient, that an important conversation is happening on the forefront for you, okay? But making sure that you're not being very superficial, making sure that you look into things a little bit deeper. And if you do get the answer that maybe you were expecting, but not necessarily like wanting or understanding, really taking time to like think about it in a bigger way. So it's important for you to remember that you should speak your truth at this time as well, that for a favorable outcome. And but also understanding that the words that you speak do have consequences to that and could impact whoever that you're listening to. So you just be very discerning about the language that you use at this time. But in whatever way, however it pans out, whatever answers that you're looking for are definitely on the horizon. So if you're looking for like jobs or something that requires a response, like, there's definitely highlighted that you're going to be receiving something of that magnitude at this time. let's see what else. This is also urging you to remember that your word is your wand. So you create your own reality. It's like almost like magic, right? By speaking it into existence. So there's something very powerful about how you're communicating around this time, all right? So let's see what this is in regards to. Let's go ahead and clarify these messages with some tarot. Clarify these messages for Aquarius, please. Clarify these. Well, we got to take them all. Definitely a decision that has to be made about a conversation. You don't really know which way to go. There's something toxic in this scenario, okay? Maybe a little bit obsessive, but that's something I think it will be easy for you to shake. Maybe things are not necessarily... there's not an equal give or take. So there could be a conversation that needs to be had about like what the responsibilities are. Like, are you giving too much? Are you not receiving enough? Like, who is this person that you need to have this conversation with, right? It's definitely a decision that you've got to make. And you feel like it's probably gone on for too long because it's gotten to the point where it's quite toxic and you don't really like it. So you understand that there's something that needs to be said. Because wherever you are right now, you're not feeling really great about it. Because that Four of Cups is definitely like feeling a little like disenfranchised. It's like, I'm not getting like really what I need out of the situation and I want it to be better. Because it's not great right now. So there's something that you've got to do to address like whatever this like unequal distribution of energy is, okay? So this could be in regards to a relationship, it can be in regards to a job, but there's definitely something here about like you needing to have a very important conversation about, you deciding to have a very important conversation about that, the delegation of like what's coming and going, or there's something about that. Like charity, like receiving and giving in some way, okay? That's not equal. It's not fair. It's toxic. And you don't like it. You feel like not good about that. So it's a very specific message, but that's what I got for Aquarius, all right? All right, let's go ahead and get into Pisces. So dear Pisces, let's see Sun, Moon, or Rising, all right? Let's go ahead and channel a message for our dear Pisces for this full moon in Capricorn. Let's see a message for our Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Give me a message for Pisces. Expect powerful changes, Pisces. You've got this new moon eclipse energy, all right? So when we talk about eclipse energy, it's very interesting. So let me just pull that up. I'm going to read a little bit about what this eclipse is, but it's definitely asking you to make some affirmations to achieve the dreams that you really want, to get that desired outcome of whatever situation that you really are emotionally connected to at this time. So it talks about this could be very powerful beginnings that are at work here. So just kind of be prepared for it, okay? So you might not be ready, but trying to make sure that you're prepared, that it could be kind of uncomfortable to kind of just jump into something, but you're going to just need some new directions, a new directive of leading, and just understanding that even if it's uncomfortable, is leading to something that's going to be for your highest good at this time. So it doesn't matter whatever is happening. It's definitely happening. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. So this is a powerful time. This is like a new portal for you in some sense, where you're being asked to really just forget about anything that's happened in the past. And whatever you thought was the situation, because you need to just expect for new things to really just kind of evolve into your life at this time. So if there's something that you've wanted in there's something you're really emotionally attached to desiring and wanting, this is 1,000 times yes. Like, it's so probable to happen at this time. And that it's happening definitely for your highest good. So you're at a very important turning point at this time. So I love that for you, Pisces. Let's go ahead and clarify. Let's clarify. Okay. I think this has definitely something to do with your job or your work here, because you got the 8 of Pentacles here, but you've also got the 7 of Pentacles. It's like you've applied, it's like you went into a period of reflection, so at some point in the past, like you thought about like what needed to change or what changes. Like there's something about a change that you've made, but it was something that you made at a critical time where, or like that you thought very critically about, okay, with that Seven of Pentacles that has been enacted in your work life now, okay, that's seeing a lot of success. And I see you being extremely happy. We got 7, 8, 9. This is a succession of energy, right? 9 of Cups is all about like joy, you being happy with yourself, you being like self-satisfied about like whatever you've put into fruition is something that you've thought about, is something that you have put the work into. And I feel that it definitely has something to do with like a material gain that you are experiencing around this time. So I love that for you, dear Pisces. This is the best reading yet. Greetings, Aries. Let's go ahead and take a look at your full moon messages that I'm going to channel for you for this full moon in Capricorn. So if you have Aries, sun, moon, or rising, let's go ahead and check out your energy. Show me a message for Aries, please. Show me a message for Aries. Show me a message for Aries. Okay. Aries, the message that I have for you is prosperity lies ahead. Watch your money, Aries, right? This is new moon in Taurus energy, right? So when we talk about this, this is more about like you paying a lot of attention or more attention to your tangible world. Look at your resources. Look at like what you need to save, saving for a rainy day, understanding the necessity of like not being so impulsive on like, hey, I'm gonna treat myself. You can't do that every day, Aries, right? So it's like if you are able, this is like a cause and effect. So it's like if you're able to really take hold of and control of your tangible world right now and your resources and how you're delegating your money and stuff, I think you're going to have a pretty successful future. But this is like really asking you to kind of hone in to your resource world at this time, okay? And with that, you're going to have like favorable results from doing things that are good for you and good for your money, right? So holding back on, like I said, needing to treat yourself and just like finding ways to like kind of pamper yourself, but not necessarily like needing the money to do that, right? Like doing things that feel good to you, but don't have to like deplete you in any way on a resource level. So let's go ahead and clarify. Let's clarify this message for Aries. Ooh, let's do one more. Okay. So Aries, like you could have a problem with being like overly optimistic here when we got this Sun card, right? But the Sun card is being optimistic, but it's also asking you to be very diligent and practical about what's happening. The Sun urges you, the Sun is a light bearer. It urges you to look at how things are. Like, do not be deceived. Don't be self-deceived about like, oh no, it's not that bad. The Sun shines the light on like the issues that need to be addressed in your life, okay? So we talk about like prosperity lying ahead. This could be the sun, like this could be the light leading you to like opportunities that are gonna like bless you abundantly, like on a resource level too, okay? But whatever it is, like you are very happy on an emotional level as well, okay? And you understand that like resources in some way are tied to your emotional state. So I do see you understanding that and understanding how to work with that energy. But you have to be careful for blockages of that because you could be too ready to just kind of like act on impulses. So making sure that you have some type of impulsive control over your finances in some grand way, okay? And being able to realize with that Sun card about like that could be very illuminated to you about your relationship with money and your relationship with your resources and how your emotional state affects that, okay? So that's the message that I got for you. I feel like there are some challenges or some blockages with that 8 of Swords, and that you're really being challenged to kind of like look very closely and carefully at your money at this time. All right, that's the messages I got for you, dear Aries. All right, dear Taurus, let's get it, Taurus. So if you have Taurus, sun, moon, or rising, let's go ahead and check out a message for you, okay? All right, let's get a message for our dear Taurus. Let's get a message for our dear Taurus. All right, Taurus. You are being asked to show the world the real you. This is the full moon in Aquarius energy, okay? So now this is really related to like sheer authenticity, okay? There's a few things that you probably need to detach from, okay? So think about like whatever is pressing on your mind on an emotional level, and you need to be asking yourself like who or what do you need to detach right now? Who do you need to keep it at arm's length, right? And that it's okay to not be so close. It's okay to detach yourself from situations, and that it's important for you to really understand that it's fine for life to unfold the way that it needs to without your input or whatever your desired input is, right? It doesn't really matter at this time. Detach yourself from the expectations of things as well. So if you feel like in any way that you're holding yourself back in some way, and you're not really like showing your real self to a situation, making sure that you just bring your unique self and all those characteristics that you have to the forefront, that you don't have to be afraid to show who you really are. So let's say in a relationship, you need to really examine in the relationship, are you being too distant or too attached, right? Whatever it is you need to just go ahead and just really try to be yourself, okay? Sometimes being detached and aloof is not really in sync with who you really are as well, okay? It's like, don't be too much in your head, right? It's fine to release that expectation of what you think other people are going to think about you. And also be expected for unexpected things. Be expectant of unexpected things, okay? So there could be things of that nature happening where you have to release that expectations. That's your biggest message, right, for this particular full moon. So let's go ahead and clarify this. Ooh. Let's clarify this for Taurus. All right. I see you like upgrading mentally and intellectually as well with this King of Swords. There's a new mentality that you're undertaking, okay? And maybe a lot of people who've known you, the previous you, are not like used to you with this space, okay? So there's something in you that like on a mental and intellectual level that you've really like elevated and changed around this time. And it's time for you to really showcase that, because I'm seeing that there is a new you that's at the forefront here with this Fool card. This is about starting new, but it's not like a new, it's like, it is nothing like really physically that's changed. It's just a mentality that you have that's very different about your like how you previously have been. And it's, you've kind of been undergoing this like metamorphosis, and maybe in the past 6 months where you're really able, you're stepping now, this full moon is this energy of you stepping into this new idea of like how you operate, what your relationships are with other people. Okay, it could also have something to do with like the way that you enact fun. Okay, so think about the ways that you have fun, and think about the ways that you have intellectualized the way that you have fun, that have like really changed. Okay, so that could look like if you have fun in a way where you're like, hey, I just want to go out with my friends and do this. Maybe there's something like that's shifted in your mindset where you change the way or what you're doing with your friends at this time. I mean, this is just an example, but there's definitely something new that you're enacting in your personality with other people that are affecting your relationship with other people. And so as a result of that, because you've gone through this metamorphosis on an intellectual level, it could be really hard for you to like show that to other people, because you're not really that comfortable in this new phase yet. Okay, but this full moon is ushering a time for you to like be okay to like explain to people what your changes are. It's okay for you to you're a solid, inflexible, fixed sign, but I feel that you have undergone a serious mental shift in the past 6 months that is quite monumental and could affect your relationships in ways that you don't really know yet. Okay, and so it's just time for you to like to follow through, because you've made that change, and now you need to let everyone in your circle kind of know what those changes are and allow them to deal with it how they want to. Put that on them. It's no longer on you. Okay? So that's the messages I got for you, dear Taurus. All right, and finally we have Gemini. So if you have Gemini, sun, moon, or rising, let's go ahead and take a look at your energy to see what's happening for you for this full moon in Capricorn. Let's check out our Gemini. Show me messages for Gemini, please. Show me messages for Gemini. Okay, Gemini, you got balsamic moon, right? So it's a time for healing. There's something in your life on an emotional level that you really need to heal at this time, okay? So this could be really asking you to, like, if you've been harboring on the past, making sure that you really just let that go. Okay, but before you let that go, there's something about whatever is bothering you on an emotional level that you really need to kind of examine. Okay, maybe it's writing it down. There's something that you really need to do to try to make a purposeful effort to heal a situation. So that's could be you acknowledging that maybe you need more time to deal with it and to think about it, right? But whatever it is, it's not just harboring over it, but it's making like an action plan for how you are going to heal. Just reminding yourself that it's possible and that you believe in yourself to do that. So really just kind of surrender any attachment that you have to it. Let the universe just kind of guide you into this healing state. So you could find yourself having a lot of really incredible insights to what's happened to you, okay, in the past. And maybe there's a nudging that, like, there's something or someone that isn't really good for you. So it might be time for you to really, like, surrender that and, like, just let a situation with a person or, like, heal, right? So really just believing in yourself to do that. And understanding the importance and the value of what it means to be healed. And understanding that it's not healthy for us to live in the past, and that we have to address these things with our past, but make a very purposeful forward motion towards the future, okay? Even if it means that you're being purposeful about, like, holding on to it a little bit longer, but with the intention of having to heal the situation. There's definitely something about healing that. So this this cycle typically occurs right before the new moon, right? So this is like asking you to let go so that you can focus in on, like, a new start in some way, right? So that's what I got for you, Gemini. Let's go ahead and just clarify this message. Okay, let's clarify the message for you, Gemini. Time for healing. You've got the Strength card. So this is all about, like, understanding the confidence of what it takes to heal as well. It's been really difficult. I feel like you're really coming out of, like, whatever has happened to you, the worst of it is over. And now you just have to, like, just kind of deal with all of those, like, knives in your back. You got to pull them out and start that process of healing, because I do feel like you've undergone something terrible. You've walked away from it with this Eight of Cups, right? This is absolutely about walking away from things that are not serving you in any way. Putting in that hard work. This is the Eight of Pentacles. That's all about, like, being more enterprising, putting in the work that it takes to, because healing is work too. You don't get paid for it per se, but it's healing. And you're doing this because you're showing up for yourself and you love yourself with this Knight of Cups, okay? This is showing the love. And I think this is like showing the love for yourself, giving yourself that permission to love yourself and to heal. All right, so my name is Tifa. I do tarot. You listen to any of this and you were like, oh my God, hey, I really resonate with this message. Check me out. I offer personal readings. You can find more information in the link of the description of this video. And I love all of you very, very much. And I hope you have a blessed and healing, happy healing. Let's just put it that way. Happy healing with this full moon in Capricorn. So I hope the readings really resonated with everyone. Please do comment, like, and subscribe for additional content. Love you. Bye.